And that was Atenko Sioi. Good afternoon and welcome to the Choralist Conversations. My name is Sibusi Sonjeza. Thank you for joining us in this afternoon's conversation. If you are joining us for the first time, you are most welcome and thank you for being here. This is a platform for engagement on matters relating to choral music, in particular, singers, conductors, composers, administrators, academics, and leaders have been on this platform already with a single goal, and that of advancing the genre of choral music so that there's a brighter future. And talking about a brighter future, this afternoon, I am joined by a group of young, talented professionals. They call their organization Operatunity, and they've been doing great things since their formation in the year 2016. In South Africa, we have, in many occasions, criticized the education system that it prepares learners so that they can become employees. And there's very little education on how to create the work, to be the content producers, to be the employers, to create employment for themselves as learners or students and for other people in the same space, and to let us into their world, because this is a group that decided that Bona are going to be employers. They're going to be content creators and not just employees. Of course, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, but it is important that we also learn how to create employment. So this afternoon, I am joined by Xolani, Abongile, Charlotte, and Usipho. Let me bring them in one by one. And we have Abongile. Let's see, where is Sipho? There is Charlotte. I still don't see Usipho. Anyway, as soon as Sipho is here, I'll bring him in. Xolani, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you today?
I'm very well. Welcome. Abongile, how are you?
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mr. Njeza. How are you, Wena?
I'm very well, very well. Charlotte, how are you? Please unmute yourself.
How are you?
I'm very well. And apologies, guys. Device Charlotte has a problem with video. So that's why we are not able to see her at this point in time. Let me start with you, Xolani. Maybe let's get to know you better. Who is Xolani and what is your role within the company before, or the organization, before we know the organization? Who is Xolani?
All right. Afternoon, Mr. Njeza, and to your viewers. Thank you so much for the platform. Uxolani is a Nigerian. I was born in Knysna. Uxolani is such a passionate person with music and in opera. I've studied opera music at UCT Opera School, and I've been a member and a founder of SA Operatunity now for you say like 5 years or so now. Yeah, that's briefly who I am.
All right, Abosh, who is Abongile and what is your role within the Operatunity?
Hello, everyone. I'm Abongile Fumba, as I've been introduced. Thank you, Mr. Njeza, for inviting us this afternoon. Abongile is from the Eastern Cape, Eqoa, Butterworth, map. Just like any typical young girl from Lokshini, I started singing at school from a very young age. And then when I got to high school, I got to be introduced to opera music. And then from then on, I actually knew in Dogobana I wanted to be an opera singer. So I took further steps, auditioned at UCT, and I also got accepted. And yeah, currently I am a professional opera singer, but I decided to go back to school to further my studies. I mean, opera training is really an intense what, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, so but in the Operatunity, I'm artistic advisor, which means when there's going to be a production or whatever, a concert or an opera, then we sit down and we discuss on what we are going to do and how we're going to cast whatever production we are. So that's my job. Oh, and I'm also co-founder, because when it started, I was there. So yeah, that's my role as an Operatunity member.
Maybe as a matter of interest, because I know you are in the production of Porgy and Bess, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Just briefly, how are the COVID-19 protocols followed in that production? Maybe that can assist whoever is planning to have a production currently. How are they making sure that singers are not infected or they don't infect each other or everyone is COVID-19 free?
Mm. Okay, so the theater, before we even came, we were told that we are going to be grouped in how is it, 3 or 4 groups, but nonetheless, there's the red group, which is the performers, the actual performers, which include the singers, the director, the assistant director, the conductor and his assistant, and some of the crew people like your stage manager and stuff. And then there's your yellow group, which is the people that we are not really in contact with. And then there's the green group, those ones which include, I think, costumes, and I don't know where the orchestra falls in, I don't remember. But with those groups, there's groups that are regularly tested for the COVID-19 virus. So the red group gets tested at least, I think, after 3 days, 3 days, 4 days. Yeah. So they regularly test us so that they can make sure that if any one of us is infected, then they can be quarantined. Yabona. So that's what we were told from the beginning, that they're going to try and test us regularly just to keep track of anyone. And if you get just a little bit of sickness, I mean, if you feel like you have a sniffle nyana or a cough, or you must report it immediately. And we are not really allowed to be in contact with other people outside our group. So what we do, we were booked a separate place that we stay at. So if you want to go out, you can go out, but you must make sure that you do your hand sanitizing, you wash your hands, you wear your mask all the time, and you must we also have a little diary that you must keep, so that if you stay longer than 15 minutes at another place, they can be able to like track your movements and stuff. I don't know how that's going to help, but yeah, we keep those diaries. So that's how the theater manages it. And so far, none of the cast members or the people in other groups have tested positive for the virus. So I guess we are trying to keep as healthy as possible, so yeah.
Charlotte, can you hear us? It seems like your microphone is not connected. Charlotte, can you hear me now?
Hello, Put.
Hi, finally we can hear you. How are you?
I'm well under the new circumstances that we're living in our new world. I believe I'm fine.
Yes. Like others, can you introduce yourself? Who is Charlotte and what is your role within the Operatunity organization?
My name is Charlotte Nhlongo. I am originally from the province called Mpumalanga, which is in the eastern side of South Africa, a very nice, warm, and tropical province. but I'm currently residing in Cape Town because I moved to Cape Town due to pursuing my studies in the world of opera. So in Operatunity, I am their financial and I don't know. I think I'm a lady with the many hats here. I'm currently doing finances, and I also coordinate with the artists in a personal and professional level, and also covering the wardrobe side. So, Operatunity has, as you can hear, the name of the company is Operatunity. So it's within the opera world. It's an opportunity to try and learn as much as we can. So it gives us a platform to learn. So since I'm doing wardrobe, I'm doing finances, it's just me training in all of these areas. So I've joined Operatunity 3 years ago. This is my third year in counting, and it's been bliss. So currently I am studying at UCT. I'm still doing my postgrad in opera. So yes, I am a singer as much as I work a lot in the backlines, but I'm also a performer in Operatunity.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like there's a bit of a challenge on Facebook. Let's listen to some music for a bit and see if we can fix it. This guy here is the reason for the glitch. He is happily watching at home instead of doing his job. He's supposed to be fixing these problems and he's happy somewhere else. So kill him. Kolani, now that we have fixed whatever problem it was, I am interested in the concept. What is the opportunity concept? Can you unpack it for us so that we understand exactly what is it that you do, who you are as an organization, what makes you tick?
All right. So thanks. All right. So thanks. The Operatunity, as we said, it was founded 5 years ago. It's been an idea for actually many years since I've even like started studying the opera. Back at home when we were just doing gigs, we call them, and we would like perform when we were still at high school. It was just still an idea. But when I started music and I've met with some of my friends that are actually at the university studying opera, I put the idea forward to them to say, guys, this is what I wish for to see in the opera industry. Would you be interested in a vision of putting a platform for performances for opera singers? And I think when we started, it was me, Abongile, Atenkosi Woyi, Lisiho, and we had Ubongani and Amanda at that time. And and everyone was interested, and we launched it in Nice, now where I come from, in 2016. It is basically our main objective is to offer performance opportunities to opera singers, developing opera singers. And we also invite developed singers from, it's either if some of them are in Europe and some of them locally, and then we invite them into doing some workshops for us. And also if maybe they would like to also partake in one of the concerts that we do or productions that we do. But the main objective is to offer as much of opportunities as we can to developing opera singers. As the word itself sort of like suggests, it's opportunities in opera, it's tuning into opera, it's also unity in opera. So that's the main objective of it.
That's great. Abongile, because you work in the artistic side. In fact, all of you are the artists, so you know the trade. But if I decide to go and watch one of your productions or concerts, what is it that I can expect which would make me say, oh wow, this is why they created this? How is what you're doing different from what we normally see whenever we go to the theater?
Okay, so what I can say is because we are concentrating really on developing singers. I mean, when we launched it in 2016, I was just almost out of school. In fact, most of us were just almost out of university. So, and we saw that, yeah, the opera school offers a lot of opportunities to perform, but we felt it's not enough, So, and the fact that, I mean, money is needed. So what I can say is when you go and watch our concerts, you will see that this is real raw talent coming into the scene. Ne? So that's basically what we're trying to do to showcase those new talents that are coming into the picture. Because when you would go to the opera school, and for instance, I mean, let me make an example about me. When I started singing solos in NCF, a lot of people would approach me, but man, Mara, where have you been? We've never heard you sing anywhere. So it's an opportunity that will show those people that, okay, besides the stars that you actually see in South Africa singing in the big concerts, there are upcoming ones that actually are really just as good, but they're just not receiving the recognition that they deserve. I mean, it's partly because times go fast and things change. So this is why we felt, no man, okay, developing singers need more opportunities to showcase themselves and to train, because standing in front of an audience and singing is not such an easy task. You have to stand in front of them to be able to know what you are capable of, to be able to know how to suppress the nerves, there's a lot that goes on before you actually sing that first note, before you step onto that stage, so that is what you are going to see when you are attending an opportunity concert. You will see new talent, probably faces that you've never seen, or maybe faces that you've seen but you would want to see some more of, so that's basically what the organization is about, so yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come back to how you guys support the raw talent that you're talking about, people who have had less opportunities, because I believe you are not looking to put mediocre performances and performers on stage. You still want to maintain the professional level, at the same time giving opportunities. I'm going to come back to that. Let me bring in Charlotte. I am hoping that she's able to hear me. Charlotte, yours involves finances and raising money. I know how difficult that can be, but in the last 4 years that Operatunity has been in existence, how have you guys done in that sphere of business that is raising finances? What is your approach to that?
For the most part, we mostly rely on donations, kind donations, and people who have seen us before, then they would go to their pockets. But also, that in our country, it is very difficult for most organizations to access money through the government. And we do apply and put on proposals. Yes, for this show, we thank God, the Almighty, that we were given a grant to do the show. But of course, that since we are new kids on the block, we do not get like a substantial amount. They would give us a certain percentage to actually see and give us a test run if we are worth getting any grants. So mostly we rely on going out there, looking for donations, looking for grants, and putting up performances. We usually have concerts up, and we would go to small organizations like the Rotary, the Friends of the Opera in Cape Town, in the schools, to try and just raise funds. But mostly, the most part of it, we are run by kind donations. And thank God that through people like Xolani, who have traveled the world, I know it's not most of his job, but he does go out there and look for money for us. He would go to his connections, his friends, people that he's acquainted with, to try and ask for money. And we appreciate, even if it's 100 rand, even if it's 20 rand, it makes a difference, because that 100 rand that somebody would donate, it's gonna put a loaf of bread on an artist's table. Because if like, I know that it's very difficult for artists in South Africa, even with the pandemic. Now the pandemic has just made things to escalate to a whole new level, which we didn't expect. People having to lose jobs that they already secured, gigs that were already in contract, but simply because we cannot gather, so all those things, they went away. So even us raising money became a bit difficult, because we had concerts lined up to raise money for this production, but they had to be cancelled and be put on hold simply because we cannot have gatherings. So it is a bit of a challenge at the moment, raising money, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It happens, but on a very, very, very slow pace. Hence, we rely on people like Mr. Spusiso Njeza, who have access to the media and a big number of followers, that somebody out there, maybe with a kind heart, would say, okay, I think I have a 20 rands to spare. Let me just throw it their way. So we mostly rely on kind donations and grants. I hope that answered you, both.
Yes, it does. Maybe now that we're talking about that, maybe let me give Xolani a platform to make that call. We're going to talk about productions and whatever else you've done and what you're planning to do. But maybe the call that Charlotte is talking about, asking people to donate where they can find you and.
All right, thank you, sir. I just want to add also to what Charlotte is saying, and I always say this to most artists that we work with or artists that we send out there, because not only we focus on giving opportunities to artists to perform locally, but we try our best wherever we can. If we are in like with networks that we have in Europe, or we've got like some contacts that we've made with academies or some donors from Europe, we would always advise artists, if you've got that opportunity, don't just go there to enjoy being in Europe. Use that opportunity to network, use that opportunity to make contacts, find a sponsor that can keep you there in Europe. That's how we've also been sustaining ourselves. We use networks that we have. We're so lucky when we started to be connected with a company called Cash and Smile, that's in Germany, in Stuttgart. And all the performances that we do or any production that we put up, they would like sponsor whatever little that they can do. Yeah, and we do keep a database for artists who are auditioning for us, or artists sometimes who feel like they want to be in our database. We have got about 30 plus or so of artists that are on the lineup for opportunities with us. And yeah, as I've said, it's mainly to also keep that connection, with your donors. And the only thing that they need from you as an artist is just to appreciate what they do for you. It's a small logo goes a long way. If we're putting up a concert, they can give you like 50,000 and say, just give me like 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter in your poster of like putting my logo up there, or just appreciate if you've got a platform, like let's say I'm on a choral conversation, put up a shout out and to just say that you appreciate what we're doing for you. So artists must also not just focus on being the divas, if I may say so. Like, we cannot all be the divas of the industry. We cannot all be the singers of the industry. There's so much and there's so more other streams within the opera industry that we can focus on. As Charlotte has said, she's doing wardrobe sometimes. Sometimes she will be doing stage management. I'm doing directing, and sometimes I will be doing subtitles and whatever. And it's all those opportunities that we also need to look into, as much as we want to sing at the end of the day. Sometimes it's not, I'm not going to say it's not meant for us, but there is more that we can offer in the industry than to just focus on being the singers in the opera industry. It is a business at the end of the day. It is art, yes, but run it as a business. And if you get the opportunity to be an artist, make sure that you become an artist and you become a brand for yourself. That's most important. You must be a brand for your services. Yes, I am Xolani. I'm given an opportunity to be in Berlin, given an opportunity to work in Stuttgart. But am I a brand? Will people remember me after I come back to South Africa to say that, yes, I've worked with Zurich Opera House, I've worked with Berlin, then what do I bring back in South Africa? Or I left everything that I've learned in Zurich there in Zurich. Did I make anything? Do people still remember me coming back in South Africa? So we need to also think of branding ourselves as artists as much as we can.
I'm very much excited by what you just said, Xolani, because the last few years, when I decided to study a qualification in business, as I was learning new concepts there, I began to ask myself as to why some of this education is not part of the curriculum in the music schools. And that brings me to the next point, as to how much of what you learned in opera school, because all of you guys are opera singers, how much of that has helped you in this other part of what you're doing, which is business? How much of it, Abosh, let me start with you.
Okay, so if I'm going to speak for myself, at the opera school, mainly, okay, when I entered there, I wanted to be an opera singer and nothing else, But when you start learning, I mean, the first few lessons, few classes, you get to know Ndogobana, actually, being an opera singer is not just about singing, So there's a lot of courses that you learn. I mean, you learn languages, you learn the stage. I mean, you learn beyond the stage. You learn stuff backstage. I mean, this is how Kolani started to venture out into directing, because he started seeing other stuff that he can do in the theater. But what I can say is, at the opera school, not much is being done to prepare us to run a business, like as an artist, like to run yourself as a business, or your artistic side as a business. Not much is being done. But what I can say is, because I'm not sure about other schools, but our teachers that we have back at school will make sure that they do inform you about, for instance, making an invoice, because sometimes they are called by whoever needs let's say they need a singer for, let's say, the Messiah, so, and they offer you whatever, and then they say, okay, how much are you gonna charge? Then your teachers will actually like inform you about stuff like that, like how to create an invoice, how to charge, how to, like, when you receive a contract, what you must look out for, so they do prepare you for that. But it's not there's no formal course in the opera course that I did. But I think in the other music courses, there is a business management course that is there. But because courses are set for you when you go there, it's really difficult to just take an extra course as part of your diploma, your degree, But yeah, there is some sort of preparation for the business side of things. I mean, at least my teachers have prepared us a bit for the business world, because I mean, I remember my first contract, when I got my first contract, it was in 2012, and it wasn't a big contract, because I was just going to be in the choir academy at the Schleswig-Holstein Music Academy, so festival, I mean, as part of the choir academy. So when the contract came, I didn't know what to do with it. So I took it to my teacher, and then she was like, oh, okay, cool. And then we started going through it, and then the next lessons in class before you sing, they're like, okay, when you're going to get a contract, you must be able to know A, B, and C. You must be able to do an invoice. That's my first invoice I had as a draft in my email was in 2012, because I knew that now I'm going to start performing for money instead of for free, or let's say for exposure. That's how they phrase it sometimes. So yeah, there is some sort of preparation that is I wish there could be more, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish there could be more, maybe a set course or courses that will get a singer, or let's say a performer or artist in step-by-step preparation, how to brand yourself, how to handle some situations when you come up with them. Because sometimes there are stuff that you, for instance, when they offer you money, and then, like, for instance, let's say they offer you 2,000 rands to sing at the alto solo in the Messiah. If I were to accept that, they're like, no, that's too little. How do you know if that's too little, or that's too much? Because, yeah, because I'm a student and I've never had that so much money before. So I will accept that offer before I even think twice about it. So stuff like that, teaching us how much we are worth, could go a long way. But now it's just maybe personal interactions with our teachers and stuff. But I do agree with that, that we need to have more business courses at the opera school, or let me just say in the arts, wherever you decide to go, is as in drama, dance, or whatever. I'm not sure if they do have back where in the other courses. So yeah, but yeah, I can safely say I was prepared, just a little bit though. It could have been more.
Okay, perhaps Charlotte and Kolani, you can add your addition also include opportunities, beyond just singing. Kolani, you mentioned it, but let me start with Charlotte. What are other opportunities that are there? Well, I know singers, when they want to go to a music school, they only want to sing. Most people don't know what else can people do. The wardrobe that you mentioned, the directing. What else goes on there that people can actually research and be a part of?
Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the fact that we are sitting in darkness mostly before we come to school, because you don't really get to know. We will just see a show, an opera, and be fascinated seeing on stage, and think that's just it. Is people going on stage and singing, but there's a lot involved. Then when you come to school, you get to be exposed to such, because now you learn that for a show to be on stage, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. There's lighting, there's subtitles, there's wardrobe department, there's makeup department, there's cleaning, there's stage directing, there's stage management, there's stage hands. There's a lot going on for a theater to be on. There's even safety involved, meaning there need to be safety officers on site, and all these people, they need to be at the opera school to know and learn and be exposed to these things. So most of the time we get to think that when you see a show on stage, is simply because there's a director that was playing a piano and taught the person music and now they sing, only to find that there's a lot involved. So there's a lot of opportunities that are not explored, especially by the black house, the black child in South Africa, because we don't know. We usually think that it's just about our talent, which is mostly singing, and we don't get to explore what is hidden. Because even before I was in Operatunity, I didn't know that I'm a capable wardrobe mistress. I used to rely on other wardrobe departments in the industry, that okay, when I have to go and sing, there's a wardrobe department, and there's somebody that is going to make sure that I look good, I have a dress that fits me. And my mind didn't go beyond and thinking that okay, that's actually a job that one can actually look into. And most of the time there's this stereotyping that goes on in the industry, especially for us singers. The fact that we think if you're not singing on stage, then you didn't do much. And only to find that for one person to actually stand on stage, they need all these departments to be at play and to be there to back them up. There is absolutely no way for that an artist would stand on stage and deliver, or an opera can go on and a Janice Kiki can sing, except somebody has thought of their makeup, somebody has thought of what they're going to wear. There's a director that thought of where they're actually going to stand and project. There's a piano that is playing, or an orchestra that is playing. So for this person to just deliver one aria, you'll find that up to over 10 or 20 departments are involved for that to happen. So there's a lot that you get to learn. Hence, I always say, I wish most of these kids in the choral sector, because I come from the choral sector and I'm a very proud choral sector person. I wish these kids could understand that it's not really about wearing the beautiful gown and standing on stage and singing. There's a lot involved. There's even nutrition. There are people who are there to advise us what to eat, when to eat, how to eat. Meaning, it's a job. It's somebody's job. It actually can be a paying job, but we are always stereotyping and thinking that opera is mainly singing. Opera is a very big spectrum with thousands of colors that are still waiting for somebody to explore them. And Operatunity is one platform where we try our utmost to explore all of this. Even now with the current project we're busy with, Johnny Skiki, there's trainees that are on board, people who are going to learn how to be stagehands, people who are going to learn how to be wardrobe assistants, people who are going to learn how to do lighting, how to do subtitles, the list can go on. Why? It's simply because we are trying to show our fellow brothers and sisters that are younger than us, or even older than us, but are still young in the industry, to see that there's a big spectrum that just needs to be explored. It's just waiting for somebody. It's sitting there waiting for us to explore it.
It's like you guys are in a movie industry, but with an added responsibility of singing. Because they speak, you go beyond that. Xolani, I think you will then address Luvo's question, because Charlotte has already mentioned this about people learning as you are preparing for Janice Kiki, that we are going to speak about shortly. Here is the question. Uyabuza Luvo, are there any auditions coming up, or anyone is welcome to audition? Any production coming up that you might be recruiting for? Before you answer, let me apologize for Charlotte. Looks like Daluxolo Mkhosi wants to see Charlotte. Once again, Charlotte has a problem with the camera on her device. You will see her. Maybe you should follow her on Facebook. She has an account on Facebook. You will see a lot of her pictures there, and also can chat to her there. Huitman says there was a course Abosh at UCT, but also she doesn't think it lasted, but it was a very important course. I agree. Xolani, let's come to you. You can answer Uluvo about the auditions, but also I had a question about how do you guys recruit? So that is tied to the same question as Luvo.
Yes. Yes, we do host auditions. As I've said, like when I mentioned that we keep a database. Like for an example, sometimes we don't even have to invite people to audition for us. We normally receive like some packages from people who said, I want to be part of Operatunity. How do we become like part of the Operatunity? Firstly, we do invite people to audition. For an example, if we sit a year, like now we know we've discussed now in 2019 for 2020, we've already discussed what these are going to be the projects that we're going to be looking into for next year. So we will issue out a call for auditions to say, guys, we need this and this. We've got certain people that we can look into in our database. We already have certain roles that we can cover, but let's send out auditions for certain type of roles so that we can have. For an example, with Janice Kiki, we've just issued out for the entire cast. We've casted out from, we didn't choose from the database that we have. We had to open auditions for all the roles that are in Janice Kiki, so that we can have like some fresh names in there, names that were in our databases. They've been doing like some concerts for us. They've been doing previous productions like La Serva, El Matrimonio, and they've done like Clemenza de Titos for us. But now for Janice Kiki, we did open a public, and then I think it ran for like a month and a half or so normally. And yeah, we do invite people to audition, and then we will say what roles we are auditioning for. And the nice thing also that we normally do is we don't just invite you to audition for Operatunity productions. We invite people from outside. As I've said, we network outside of South Africa, and we network also within South Africa. And then we would invite those people with more experience than us to come and listen to the voices in South Africa. And for Janice Kiki, we had like some directors from the Zurich Opera House. We had the directors and founders from Berlin Opera Academy. We also invited the head vocals lectures from the UCT opera schools to come and listen and just to see maybe if it's a new voice and they don't have the university background, maybe this is someone that we can invite to come and study opera further. Okay, fine. This is someone that's developed, but they haven't been discovered out there in Europe. Okay, fine. Send us a list of these people. We want to hear them at the Berlin Opera Academy. All right, this is the list of someone that I feel like can benefit from the Opera House in Zurich. Can I please get a contact with? So we always have also those more opportunities for people than to just be in our database. So you audition for a certain role for us, but then also there are other opportunities for other people to also listen to you outside of South Africa or within South Africa if they've got production. Sorry.
Yes, no, that's very clear. I hope, Luvo, you are captured there. And as you can see on this list, the last person there, Usposetu, I know for a fact he sings in a choir here in the Western Cape. He heavenly voices. He's not an opera singer. He's not a student for opera. He's studying science, if I remember correctly. But because of his talent, when he auditioned, you guys recognized him. So I actually can attest to that. Before we talk about this production, you tell us a bit about it and where people can get tickets and how people can actually watch. Because I see it says virtual and there are tickets. It's a very strange concept, that one. Let's listen to a piece of music whilst you guys drink some water, and then we'll come back and talk about this production. Brings back great memories to see the late Victor teacher there. I mean, what a great pianist he was. Everyone who has worked with him, before he passed on would agree that he was such a blessing, Victor, on that piano. You can hear his playing. We are winding down the conversation. I agree with Huitimang. You guys are doing great job. You're doing a great job, and the mere fact that all that you are doing, be it networks, be it the productions, recruitment, everything you're doing, you are doing it, by yourselves. You try and make things happen. Whoever comes through to help you, they find you on the go. Because I think one of the deep cancer that we have in this country is people waiting either for the government or for a funder to give them money before they can start on their idea. But you guys are actually doing the opposite. You started, you didn't know whether it's going to be a success or not, but you believed in your dream. Now, let's talk about this production that is coming up on the 27th and 28th. Tell us a bit about it. It's a virtual performance. There are tickets that are being sold. There's a venue, Erin Hall. Just who's going to take that one?
Maybe I should start and then Charlotte will add on to that, and maybe Abongi will also say that. She doesn't want to give me money for this project, but anyhow. So well, I was just thinking out, when you were playing these snippets, and then I see Victor and the concert that we did with him, and then today happens to be his birthday. May his soul continue to rest in peace, and happy birthday to him actually today. So Janice Kiki, we've decided on this last year. I think, as I've said, we always discuss a year in advance of what we're going to be doing the following year. It was going to be a sort of like a full stage opera, but because of the new normal that we're living under, we've been seeing so much challenges to actually, we didn't want to cancel it, and we didn't see it being postponed. That's why we put it so much a year, like sort of so few months ahead of the year, to maybe just cross fingers and hope that the pandemic will sort of like subside in time. I'm sure many opera singers or many opera artists, they know Janice Kiki as being Puccini's outmost beautiful comic opera in one act. It is going to be virtual. It's an online performance. It's going to be with a piano accompaniment. It's on the 27th and the 28th viewing, and the tickets are 100 rands, and it's going to be recorded at Artscape Theatre with a stage. And you can see on the poster there, we've got all the cast members and double casted on the 3 leading roles. Erin, and on our poster, you can also see, as I've said, the only thing that our funders or donors or supporters want is for you to actually give them sort of like an appreciation or a mention. So we've put all the logos there of our in-kind donors and supporters. So it's going to be recorded at Artscape Theatre, Erin Hall. Music halls and music rehearsals are happening in Erin Hall. It's funded by the National Arts Council, even though they cut the budget by half. But we were so blessed to have artists that actually understand and where we come from and what we want to actually do. So you can book your tickets at Quicket. It's Janice Kiki COVID-19 concept. So it's a COVID-19 concept opera. So it's Janice Kiki. And then you can just check it at Quicket and you can book your ticket. You book a ticket for either the 27th or the 28th of November. And also you can see what they did for us at Quicket. They've created like a tab where you can leave a donation if you want as well. And these donations are actually helping us to the next project that we want to do, or the next event that we want to do. Yeah, so maybe Charlotte can also add more if they want on that.
Charlotte?
I believe Xolani has covered everything. But we are virtual simply because of the current situation we are in. So, because we couldn't get theaters to host us, we thank Artscape for giving us a stage where we can actually live stream from. So, what we're going to be doing will be live streaming, but we are not really going to have an audience, which I still pray at the current moment that a miracle just happens, that we can actually access the theater and have at least, even if it's a minimum audience, because that is going to make a big difference on our finances. Because as I said, we rely a lot on donations, and we've got a lot of artists that we look out for. It's not just the artists that you're gonna see on stage. We've got people that we've handed AMA vouchers to help them through the pandemic. So we do need money as much as we can, because it's not just about productions. We do go into interpersonal relationships with artists. Yes, the performance is going to be virtual, but we are still praying and hoping that you pray with us that we can maybe access theater by luck. But we hope everybody's going to buy the live streaming tickets, and hope to see you on the 27th and the 28th of November. Thank you.
Ongile, anything you want to add? Unmute yourself, please.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I don't want to add anything. They've covered everything. I mean, the performance is just on the 27th and 28th of November, and it's going to be virtual. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I may say another thing, Mr. Njeza, sorry, it's a worldwide viewing, so you can view it wherever you are. You don't have to be in South Africa to view it. And I know that Huitzimang did post a question on me a few days back to say, I'm in America. Does that mean now time difference? Yes, it's going to be 6 p.m. in South Africa, Johannesburg time, but you can view it wherever you are in the world. So it might be like 12 p.m. in America. So yeah, it's open to everyone all over the world to view.
Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make an appeal. Whenever we talk about development and support, we speak about unity, we speak about supporting one another, but in most cases, we don't translate that into reality. And my reality in this sense is that here is a concert. Here are the young singers. They are professional singers. They've created this to create jobs for themselves and for many other singers, to create opportunities. You've had Tolani, you've had Abongile, you've had Charlotte. Unfortunately, Usipo had a challenge with his network, but we've heard all about Operatunity. Whether you will be able to watch on the day or not, I am calling for people to buy those tickets. Ask people to buy tickets. That's the only way we can demonstrate our support. It is when we actually take action, not to always say, I support you, I'm with you, in spirit. It's good, but let's also support through resources. And in doing that, I've done it in the past, whereby there would be a concert in the Eastern Cape and I can't go, but I will still buy a ticket just for that concert to happen. So if we can do that, for our fellow artists, I believe we can make a lot of difference. Thank you very much. I hope we are going to purchase those tickets and do the same to others as well, as more people are coming in to create these platforms for more artists. Thank you very much, Tolani, Abongile, Charlotte, for being here. I hope people are going to follow you on Facebook. I know you also have a Instagram account. Next week, I will be hosting Umama Nomusa Siliki, and she will be presenting a web talk. These are mini lectures that form a basis of these engagements and conversations. her focus is going to be on the future of choral music. Given the experience, and her expertise, I know this is going to be one of those fruitful ones in terms of the content that we are going to get. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Tolani, Abongile, and Charlotte, and good afternoon.
Thank you, everybody.
watch Choralist Conversation with Sibusi Sonjeza every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Choralist Facebook page and their YouTube channel. Thank you.